undefeated Michael Morales is on a warpath, 17-0, and now he's facing the toughest test of his career. But Gilbert Burns? He's fighting for more than just rankings. He's fighting for survival. UFC Vegas 106 is headlined by a pivotal welterweight bout between the battle-tested Gilbert Burns and rising star Michael Morales. Both fighters successfully made weight during Friday's official weigh-ins at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, with Morales stepping on the scale at 170.5 pounds and Burns coming in at the welterweight limit of 170. For Michael Morales, this fight represents the biggest opportunity of his career. The 25-year-old Ecuadorian enters the octagon with an unblemished record of 17-0, including 5 straight UFC wins. His most recent outing saw him deliver a statement knockout victory over veteran Neil Magny, firmly establishing himself as one of the most promising prospects in the division. A win over a top 10 opponent like Burns could catapult Morales into title contention and set up a potential future clash with contenders like Jack Della Maddalena. On the other side of the cage, Gilbert Burns finds himself at a career crossroads. Once a perennial contender and title challenger, the 38-year-old Brazilian has seen his ranking slip following losses to Sean Brady, Jack Della Maddalena, and Belal Muhammad. With a record of 22-8, Burns knows the stakes are high. Another loss could severely damage his chances of climbing back into the title picture and potentially threaten his position on the UFC roster. This fight is not just about rankings or records. It's about legacy and survival. For Morales, it's a chance to prove he belongs among the elite. For Burns, it's a must-win scenario to reassert himself as a dangerous force in a stacked division. If you're loving the breakdown so far, hit that like button to help more fight fans find this. And drop your predictions in the comments. Will Morales stay unbeaten, or is Burns about to shock the world heading into UFC Vegas 106? Expert predictions are sharply divided on the outcome of the main event between Gilbert Burns and Michael Morales, highlighting the fight's compelling clash of youth and momentum versus experience and desperation. Kyle Diamond of Bloody Elbow is siding with the unbeaten Morales, pointing to the Ecuadorian's impressive rise in the welterweight division. Diamond believes Morales' composure, athleticism, and finishing power will be the difference maker. With an unblemished 17-0 record and a recent knockout of Neil Magny, Morales is seen by some as the next breakout star at 170 pounds. A win over a top 10 ranked veteran like Burns would not only solidify Morales' status as a legitimate contender, but could also fast-track him to a high-profile title eliminator, possibly against someone like Jack Della Maddalena. However, Jamie Theodosi and Harvey Leonard are backing the veteran. They argue that Burns, despite recent setbacks, has faced the toughest competition in the division and brings a level of grit, grappling, and experience that Morales hasn't yet encountered. Burns himself has made it clear that he cannot afford to lose this fight, and both analysts believe that sense of urgency, combined with his well-rounded skill set, will push him to victory. Burns' recent slide has been against elite names, and both Jamie and Harvey suggest that Morales, though talented, may not yet be ready for someone with Burns' level of experience and intensity in high-pressure scenarios. Ultimately, this prediction split underscores the unpredictability of the matchup. It's a classic storyline of rising talent versus seasoned warrior, with enormous implications for both men's careers. While the main event of UFC Vegas 106 has experts divided, the co-main event between Paul Craig and Rodolfo Bellato seems to be far more clear-cut in the eyes of the analysts. Kyle Diamond, Jamie Theodosi, and Harvey Leonard are all predicting a win for the rising Brazilian Bellato. Paul Craig enters this fight under immense pressure. Once known for his dangerous submission skills and wild comeback victories, the Scottish fighter has hit a steep decline, losing 5 of his last 6 UFC bouts. His recent performances have shown vulnerabilities in his striking defense, conditioning, and overall consistency inside the cage. With his back against the wall, Craig must deliver a standout performance, but the odds and momentum appear stacked against him. Rodolfo Bellato, on the other hand, is viewed as a fresh, promising addition to the UFC light heavyweight roster. Though still early in his UFC journey, with 1 win and 1 draw, Bellato has shown glimpses of dynamic striking and strong fight IQ. He's hungry, physically strong, and possesses a well-rounded game that could give Craig serious problems, especially if the fight stays standing. The experts unanimously expect Bellato to capitalize on Craig's recent decline, using forward pressure and cleaner technique to control the fight. While Craig remains dangerous off his back, Bellato is believed to have the discipline and power to avoid submission traps and overwhelm Craig over the course of the bout. In summary, the co-main event may not carry the same uncertainty as the main event, but it carries high stakes for Craig and high expectations for Bellato, who many believe is poised for a breakout performance. Don't miss our full post-fight breakdown right after UFC Vegas 106 wraps up. Subscribe to MMA Thread and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of the action. This card could shake up the welterweight division.